Hey, it's Matthew from Dead to Rights. Donald Trump said something the other day. I don't know when it was. It was a couple days ago, probably, but he said something that I thought was actually pretty insightful for Donald Trump. I don't say it very often of him, and it's not that I don't hate him. I just think that sometimes he says things that are a little bit crazy or off the wall. But every now and then he says something that actually makes sense and actually has some wisdom or some insight to it. So Donald Trump was talking about Washington, D.C. the other day. He was talking about the crime, the dirt, the how filthy the city is, and as the capital city of America, that it should be better. And he used this analogy that he said his dad, when he was growing up, his dad used to tell him, "Son, if you go up to a restaurant and the door is dirty, the door of the restaurant is dirty, leave that restaurant immediately. Do not go in. Because if the door is dirty, then you know the kitchen is dirty." That's a pretty profound statement, actually. I mean, it uh evokes a certain mental picture of what he's talking about that actually makes a lot of sense. And he's talking about Washington D.C., right? So what he's saying is, if the thing that is visible, the thing that you present to the public is dirty and filthy, then what would the thing that is hidden look like? What about the thing that you don't present to the public? The thing that you hide in the back or the kitchen where things are coming out. That probably too is dirty. If they don't care about what you see, they certainly don't care about what you don't see. And this kind of goes to when I was growing up in school. They used to say integrity is not what you do when people are looking. It's what you do when people aren't looking. Right? I mean that makes a lot of sense to us. So it was a good mental picture of what Donald Trump is talking about, and he is. I mean, let's be honest. He's right. I don't say this often about Donald Trump, but he's actually pretty spot on with this. That if the thing that you show people is dirty and filthy and you don't bother to clean that up, then how much worse is the thing that people don't see? Now obviously he's talking about Washington D.C. He's talking about the crime and the filth and the dirt that is allowed in Washington D.C. and nothing happens with it. And so, if it's the case that Washington D.C. looks like that, then how bad is the rest of America? How bad are the other American cities? If our nation's capital is dirty, well, then our nation's kitchen is dirty as well. And he's right about this, but he's actually more right than I think he realizes. Because consider the people who reside in D.C. and the stories about politicians engaging in all kinds of horrible acts of corruption and illicit acts and drug use and sex parties and all these things that we all know are happening. But these are the people that we elect, that we put in the power. And if our elected officials, those who represent us, are dirty and their lives are filthy, and those who we elect to be the forward facing uh person among us, that they would represent us, if they are the front door and they are dirty, then how bad dirty is the rest of the country? And so just on a national sense, this makes sense from both a how cities are run all the way to our general population. Our general population is depraved and immoral. But let's take this a little bit further, because while Donald Trump has some wisdom here, this wisdom didn't come from himself. I don't think that Donald Trump created this statement out of thin air. Now, obviously, he said that his father taught him this, but this didn't even start with his father. Go all the way back to Jesus. In Matthew chapter 6, he's talking to his disciples. He's talking to a grand amount of people, to over 5,000 people. And he is preaching to them on life and how to live a good life, a life that's pleasing to God. And in Matthew chapter 6, he says something equally more, uh, I would say, more profound than what Donald Trump said. He said, the eye is the lamp of the body. If the eye is healthy, the whole body is good and full of light. But if the eye is bad or unhealthy, the whole body is full of darkness. So Jesus pretty clearly right here is saying the thing that is visible, the thing that you put out in front of people, what you look at and what you do with your visible parts, where your eyes go, it reveals what's in you because it's a lamp. So if there's light in you, it comes out through what you look at and what you behold, what your affections are, what your intentions are. But if what's in you is bad, then what comes out of your what comes out of your eyes is also bad. What you look at and what you love, what you desire. So if what comes out of your eyes is how can I be generous? How can I be helpful? How can I be loving? How can I be kind? How can I be Christ-like? Then you can be certain that most likely, not most likely, but there's a good chance that that what's in you is good. But if what comes out of your eyes, what you look at and what you have affection for, is evil, it's malice and envy and strife with other people. You're always looking at things to covet, things that aren't yours that you want. You're looking at women and beholding them as though they should be yours with lustful intent. Then you can be more certain that what comes out of your heart through your eyes is bad, because what your eyes are beholding, what your intentions are beholding, are also bad. So let's take this a little bit further then. Jesus continues. He says, and if the light that's in you is dark, if even the light that's in you is dark, how great is that darkness? You see, we convince ourselves that we have a lot of good in us. A lot of people oppose God's punishment of hell because they say, well, I'm a good person. I have light within me. But what if God, his light, the requirement of him, is far greater than anything we can exceed? What if it were like me taking a matchstick in the middle of the daytime and lighting it and holding it up to the sun and looking around at people and saying, how bright is my matchstick? That's a pretty foolish thing. There's no use for the matchstick. It is a meaningless existence of light because we have a blazing ball of fire in the sky. But that light does nothing. Even that light is darkness compared to the sun. And it's even, Jesus is even talking about more of a stark comparison than that. It's not even a match. It's like an unlit. It's like a wet matchstick, and me saying, "Look, I've got a matchstick. It can create light. It has the potential to create light." And I'm gonna compare it to the blazing glory of the sun. It's a pretty foolish thing. And so we have to evaluate our lives and say, "Okay, God, well, how then do I become light?" Because this is the reality of man. This is the reality of man, is that we are constantly spewing out darkness. You and me, we're constantly spewing out darkness, and even what we think is good in us, God looks at and says, it's not good. Even your best, everything that you have is not good compared to me, because I'm the standard. You are evil and wicked and deserving of punishment. This is the reason Jesus came. Jesus came to redeem man from darkness, to rescue them from darkness and bring them into glorious light. that he would create a new heart within you so that he can be the fire. The Holy Spirit comes into you and becomes a fire within you. The light that comes out of you is no longer your darkness, but Jesus' light. This is the hope for man. It's not in politics. It's not in maybe our nation will get better or maybe our nation will get cleaner. It's in Jesus to redeem us, to usher in a new kingdom and a better kingdom, one that is fulfilling of all of God's requirements for mankind, where he saves us and he becomes the good that's within us. Donald Trump is pretty spot on in a way that I don't think he realizes. Because if the front door of your life, the thing that is visible, the thing that you reveal to other people is dirty, with a dirt that can never be cleaned off, then how dirty is the kitchen? If you're the front door, if your actions are the front door, your heart is the kitchen. And if your actions are dirty, how dirty is your heart? Trust in Jesus. He's the only one who can clean the grit and the grime from your heart so that what comes out of your heart is good and full of light. Have a great day. Be blessed. Uh, yeah, we'll keep doing this.